back live on Super Talk 99 times. 997, because you know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, we are. We are present today. Yeah, it's a little light into your life day. Considering all the rain we've got coming over the next few weeks, a little extra light in the house might be a good thing. But yes, you are listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you live from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show, sitting here today with two gentlemen, Mr. Mims Mobley and Mr. Jack Alvarez, which I finally got that nailed. I'm sorry, gentlemen. The people that listen a lot to this show, they understand I butcher names all the time. But like I was telling you off the air, I really thought it was Mitch. I would have lost a lot of money in Vegas. But we're sitting here with VELUX Skylight gentlemen today. We've got our rep, RTM Roofing's rep, sitting here, Jack, and as I understand, his boss, Mr. Mobley, sitting here. And when did you take over this region? Because like we were talking earlier about Mr. Feltman. Did he move on up in the company, or did he move?
He's taken on a different responsibility. He's still with the company now.
Nice.
So I took over the territory about a little over 2 years ago. And hired on Jack to cover the territory because it was open at the time I took it over, and he's been doing a great job, and it's a great little market up here.
It is, and that actually leads me to something I wrote down earlier when you were talking about initially. You've been with VELUX for 31 years, I believe.
Sure have.
That from Florida to Ohio. That when a new gentleman we've got at the office, Leno, is from Chicago, and he was talking about up there. Skylights are more prominent, I've realized, in the northern part of the country than sometimes in the southern part of the country. Meaning, I guess because there's not as much light up there and up that way. Do you notice that, or is that just something?
That's very true. That is very true. We do see a lot more skylight usage tends to be. Like I said, I was in Ohio, right? And you've got what you call the Ohio gray sky.
Right, 100%.
And so people crave daylight. And, of course, during the winter months, when the days are shorter, the need for daylight is much greater up there, right? Because it's the farther south you go, the more daylight you have during the winter months.
That's right.
So we actually do see a high demand for skylights in that market as well.
Yeah, that's what, because we were talking, of course, that I've been in business now a little over 10 years. We turned 10 last October 15th. And I've seen my fair share of skylights. I mean, from even before I started my company to now. But yeah, I can't give an odds or the numbers, one out of however many homes, but it seems to be less down here, and except for the transplant plants moving in now, right? There's a lot of coming from the north or even out west where there seems to be a lot of skylights that we're getting a lot of requests for that. So that's why I wanted to come in and talk about. I don't take phone calls on the show, but it's, what would you tell either one of you? This is an open floor question. What would you tell an average homeowner here that's not used to skylights and maybe, would want them or not want them? What do you say? What do you say to somebody like that?
Yeah, I mean, skylights are not just for out-of-staters. They can be for Tennesseans as well, man.
That's right.
Natural daylight has all kinds of different benefits, health benefits, being great. Having that sunlight come into your home can really offer a lot of different things for you. And if you don't want that sunlight at a certain point in the day, maybe save some money on the electrical bill. We do now have a built-in solar-powered shade that was introduced about a year ago, and that has been received very well by homeowners. You think about vertical windows, you're going to have a shade shut or something on it. So
That's
why
right.
wouldn't you want that on the skylight that gets probably the most light in the house?
That's right.
So the ability to be able to control the light when you need is a great benefit for homeowners.
How do you go about, and you don't have to get super technical at all, but how do you go about, like you walk in the room I'm in now, right? And you're like, hey, I want some more light in here. And the first question is I've mentioned to people, how much light? Because we've done some sky tunnels before, which we can talk about a little later or whatever, but that just illuminated this whole foyer that was 2 stories. I think we put 2 12 inches in. And it just, at night with a full moon, he said it lit up like the lights were on. But how do you figure that out?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the first things we're going to look at is this space going to be better fitted for a skylight or a sun tunnel, which you just mentioned. So, we're going to look at the ceiling, the attic space, and the roof itself first to determine if, is this space better suited for a skylight or sun tunnel? Skylights, of course, vaulted ceilings is going to be a great option to put some skylights in there. And then, we look at a room like this where we do have a flat ceiling and maybe that roof is a little bit more low slope and we opt for a sun tunnel here.
Right. No, that's because as I was saying earlier, I've got a good friend of mine that's needing in this, and the room's probably like a 50 by 50. It's a pretty good size. It's warehouse. It's commercial grade sort of roofing. The R panel, about a 2 pitch. Nothing, no major slope. And I was like, how much light you wanting? I was asking him, and at the same point in time, is like, is it 2? Is it 4? You start doing the math on that. We'll have to talk after the show because I don't want to necessarily do this real time, but that's what I want to figure out. Because if you need 4 of them, great. But if 2 will do it, then why buy 4?
Well, I'll touch on that. So,
go ahead.
The standard is typically 10 to 15% of your square footage of your floor space could be utilized for skylight space, right? But I would take it a step further because you can actually look at skylights not only as the functionality of bringing in daylight and the functionality of providing natural ventilation, but you can also look at it as a design feature. So, one of the things we have with our systems is we've got the ability of putting skylights side to side in what's called combi flashing. So like where you might go into a room where you have a wall of windows, we've got the opportunity to actually do that basically in the ceiling, right? And so we can take that wall of windows to the ceiling, and then what you're doing is you're creating a lot of drama, because what's unique about the sky is forever changing.
Correct.
Light is dynamic. So as the sun moves over those skylights, you're going to get just different effects in the room. And we've actually got some pretty unique tools that are coming out in the near future that actually will give you a simulation of what skylights could do for the interior space with daylight.
Well, that sounds neat. That sounds like a hover for a roof, but for skylights, where you can actually start visually seeing a general idea. It's like the hover. It gets really close. I always say it tells you what you don't like. You can at least rule that out, right? And so this would be a contractor question then. With something like that, is that where I bring Jack out and we look at this, or I start doing measurements, or is that more of a custom, or is that a self already pre-built style thing?
No, definitely you, as a contractor, you're going to want to have the framing knowledge and understanding of how to modify the existing structure, especially if it's a remodel project, right?
Right.
You got to have the insight to where you can carry the loads and move the weight of the roof around and make sure that everything's structurally sound.
When you're doing the wall, as you say, or the row of them, all, I guess, monolithic, so to speak, but not one solid sheet of paint.
No, they're individual units. Right. They are individual units. We do have some other product designs that are more commercial oriented that allow you to put in basically big panes of glass. But for the most part, we do in residential, we're mostly doing with what's called unit skylights. So it's the combi flashing that basically interweaves the skylight into the roofing system to make the entire system watertight, right?
That's right.
So the skylights themselves can go on just about any type of roofing material, but it's the flashing detail
100%.
that actually makes it watertight.
That's where it's going to leak or not.
Exactly.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to make sure that the contractors, you definitely want to make sure that you're following our instructions. We do have a 10-year installation warranty, so you properly install our products according to our specifications with our flashing, and we'll warranty that installation for up to 10 years.
And the ice and water guard.
Yep. Got to be there.
Got to be there.
Got to be there.
No, I would put ice and water guard on my whole daggum roof if it just wouldn't smother it. Actually, I always say I'd put a mod bit. Just run a mod bit on the roof. It's good for 30 years, 35 years, and not worried about hail unless it's the size of a softball or something. And and we're going to get into some of that because we get a lot of hell around here. How the Skylights, what do we do about the pain? Is it going to bust in on you or not? And I already know the answer, but we're going to jump into that because you're listening to Renovation Nation, sitting here with Mr. Mims Mobley. Yeah, I got that right. I wanted to say Mobley again. And Mr. Jack Alvarez of VELUX Skylights. Both of them, Greenwood, South Carolina. Yeah, I got some other South Carolina boys in here. Well, come on back, because you are listening to Renovation Nation, live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's a Let in the Life of the Light Day. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Are you the type of person that takes pride in your home? Let RTM Roofing help with the exterior, with your roof, with your siding, with your soffit, fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps. Home insulation now, too. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the contact card. Let RTM Roofing help you get ready for summer.